Greetings of the day and welcome to the session. From this session onwards, let us see the strategic management subject in RRB. So, you know, strategic management and EIS together form paper 7 and strategic management is for 50 marks. So, what are the chapters in this strategic management? We have 8 chapters. The first one is Introduction to Strategic Management. Second lesson, Dynamics of Competitive Strategy. Third lesson, Strategic Management Process. Fourth lesson, Corporate Level Strategies. Fifth lesson, Business Level Strategies. Sixth lesson, Functional Level Strategies. Seventh lesson, Organization and Strategic Leadership. Eighth lesson, Strategy Implementation and Control. So now, let us start with the first lesson, that is Introduction to Strategic Management. See, before going to start the subject of strategic management, it is better if we know the objectives of the subject. Why a student of chartered accountancy should learn the subject of strategic management. You see, today strategic management, today chartered accountants are playing a very important role as business consultants. They are offering their services to business people in the development of their business, and they are offering consultancy services. So, definitely a chartered accountant should have the knowledge of strategic management. So, this subject gives the knowledge regarding how to manage a company, how to direct a company, and how to make the company to win the challenges of the future. So, by going through a subject like strategic management, you will have that knowledge, and that knowledge is very much important to the present day chartered accountant. That is the reason we need to go through this subject called strategic management. See here, one particular thing is given by ICAI. With the increased competition, the management of business has acquired strategic dimension. Means you have to think about the future and you have to turn your business according to the challenges, according to the opportunities and threats that you face in future. That means rather than concentrating on the current situations, you should also make your business future ready. You should think about how to make your business to face the challenges of the future. For that, the subject of strategic management is very helpful. All executives and professionals, including the CAs, working towards the growth of their businesses must possess sound knowledge of strategic management. So, this is the reason why you should study the subject of strategic management. Now, let us start with the first lesson, that is Introduction to Strategic Management. Now, the first question, explain the evolution and importance of business policy. See, today strategic management is taught in various universities, in various management institutions across the world. But once upon a time, the word strategic management is not used. Instead, the word business policy is used for the subject of strategic management. And even today, in some of the management institutions, we find the word business policy and strategic management. That means we can interchangeably use the words of business policy and strategic management. And actually, when it all started, when this strategic management started, or when this business policy started, see, in the year 1911 at Harvard Business School, they thought of introducing a new subject into the curriculum of the students, which teaches about the general management of the business. That means already at Harvard Business School, they are teaching subjects like marketing management, financial management, human resource management, and many other areas. But they felt that there is some deficiency in teaching the management of business to the students. So, in order to fill up the deficiency, they have introduced the subject called business policy in the year 1911. and it was taught using some interactive case studies. That means they have taken some case studies and they tried to explain to the students the concepts of business policy or strategic management with the help of case studies. And see why this subject is introduced into the syllabus. The reason is to enhance the general managerial capability of students. That is, if you study specific subjects like marketing, finance, human resources, production, operations management, then you will get the knowledge related to that particular area. But if you are at the top of the business, that means if you occupy the top level role in the business, then you require general management capability. You need to think about the future of the business. You need to design plans, policies, strategies for the sake of doing the business in the future. See, the role of top level management is always to make the business future ready. So for that purpose, a subject called business policy is introduced into the syllabus. And however, the introduction of business policy in the curriculum of other business schools and management institutes came much later. This actually happened. See, Harvard University is the top-notch university in teaching business studies. So at first it was introduced in the Harvard Business School, and later in 1960s it found place in other curriculums of the other institutes across the world. So that is a little bit of history that you need to learn about the evolution of business policy as a subject. So you please remember, this business policy is further renamed as strategic management. Now let us understand the definition of business policy. See, generally policy is a very important word. The simple definition or the simple meaning of the word policy is just rules and regulations. Many people used to say that meaning. Policy means rules and regulations. But the word policy is having a very big meaning. The policy tells the attitude of the management. So business policy represents the attitude of the management, the thought process of the management, what management wants to do in the future, what are their aspirations, what they wanted to do, what is their attitude, how they want to run their business, what is the framework in which they want to run their business, how the decisions are to be taken in the business. This is what is policy. Means the simple meaning is rules and regulations, but you have to understand it deeply. Business policy means not simple rules and regulations. The policy statement tells the attitude of the management, the thought process of the management. And you know, policy making is very important. We call the Prime Minister of the country as a policy maker. The government is a policy maker. And the future of the country depends on the policies they make. So that's why we have different policies like EXIM policy regarding exports and imports, fiscal policy regarding the budgetary considerations, we have credit policy, we have monetary policy. So for all the major decisions, for all the major frameworks, we use the word policy. Likewise, in business also, the top level management should have a policy to run their business. Okay. Later that policy is called as strategy. That is a different issue. But first you need to understand that every business should have a policy. Okay. So basing on that policy, everything should take place in the business. For example, you have to take a decision. So you should not take decision immediately on an ad hoc basis. That is instant basis. You should not take like that. You should have a policy for everything, and you have to make a policy based decision. That means your decision should be based on your policy. That means before making a decision, you should make your policy, and that policy should be known to everyone in the organization. That is the most important thing you need to understand. So according to Christensen, business policy is the study of See what is the business policy actually? See, Christensen has defined it in this way. The functions and responsibilities of the senior management. That means the business policy tells the role of senior management, the role of top level management, what they should do. What they should do? The top level management have to make right kind of decisions. Like government, the top level management is the government of the organization, and they have to make policies towards the business and the crucial problems that affect the success of the total enterprise. So what we discuss in business policy, we discuss about the crucial problems, that is the important problems that the organization will face in the future, how to address them, how to approach them, what should be our attitude, in what way we should proceed, in what direction we should go in the coming future. This all will be discussed in the policy statement, that is the business policy statement. Okay. The decisions that determine, yes, the direction of the organization and shape its future. This point is very, very important point. Okay. So what is it? A policy statement consists of the decisions that determine the direction of the organization and shape its future. This is very, very important. This is actually what is policy. A policy will guide the organization. Basing on policy, the organization is driven forward. How the organization should move forward, that all things will be clearly described in the business policy statement. That means each and every business organization should have a business policy. And what that business policy should contain? The decisions that tells the direction of the business, the attitude of the management, how they run the business. These all things a business policy statement should consist of. Now, what is the importance? Business policy mainly stresses on the rational and analytical aspects of strategic management and strategic decision making. That means every decision you make in the business should be rational. That means you have to analyze all the pros and cons. You need to make a 360 degrees analysis. You need to make a 360 degrees analysis. Means you have to think in all the probable ways before making a decision. That is called the rational. And analytical means you have to analyze everything, every small thing you have to analyze, and you have to decide the direction of your business, in what direction your business should move in the future. That is what is business policy. And business policy presents a framework for understanding the strategic decision making. See, generally, we make lot of decisions regarding the future of the company, or we make lot of decisions for everything in the business. Then generally people will get a doubt. Sir, how you are taking those decisions? See, if you take a decision, there should be some base for the decision. What is the base for your decision? Basing on what you are making the decision? Basing on policy. Basing on policy, we make the decision. This is the most important thing. That means you should not take ad hoc decisions. Of course, sometimes we may take ad hoc, means instantaneous decisions. But in the most possible cases, you should always take your decisions based on policy. That means at first, a business organization should have a policy statement, a business policy. That is the most important thing. And everything should run in the organization basing on that policy. You should not deviate from the policy. You know, this policy is the guiding principle. This policy is the framework. It is the framework. You know what a frame do? A frame binds. So you also have to bind your decisions. You should not exceed this policy framework. That means whatever decisions you take should come within the purview of this policy or policy framework. So a policy is a framework, and you know, frameworks are very, very important to us. Because if there is no framework, then we waste lot of time. We think all unnecessary things. But if we design a framework, that means what is to be considered. If you make a policy framework, then decision making becomes very easy, because you need not think more. You just consider the framework and you consider the decision. That is a very, very important thing. And this framework helps the managers in handling general management responsibilities. See, in a business organization, in day-to-day life, at daily operating level, we come across lot of decision-making situations. We have to make decision for every small thing. Then, what is the guide? Whom you will consult before making a decision? Every time will you take up your phone and call the chairman of the company to make a decision? For example, a marketing manager has to take a decision. So will he ring up to the chairman and asks, sir, what to do? No, this should not be done. Then what to do? You need to have a policy, and that policy is to be communicated to all the managers who has to take decisions, and they have to read that policy, they have to understand that policy, and accordingly they have to take the decisions. That means policy is the reference. Whenever you get a doubt, you should refer to the policy and then you take the decision. Okay, that is the importance of business policy in business. See, that is the reason why we use the word policy for everything. Foreign policy, industrial policy, agricultural policy, everything is a policy. That means the decisions are taken based upon the policy. Okay, right. So policy is the guide which we refer when we get a doubt, when we have to make a decision. By reading the policy, by going through the policy, we make decisions. And general management responsibilities means we have to manage the company. We have to plan, organize, staff, direct and control. These all things should not be done without any basis. These all things have to be done with a basis, and that basis is policy. Okay? Right. Now, the second question, define the term strategy. See, actually the word strategy comes from strategos, means move forward. Okay. So, and the dictionary meaning of the word strategy is something that is related to war and ways to win over enemy. See, the words like logistics, strategy, deployment, they all come from military terminology. Okay. They are war related words. And you know, the basic textbook for strategic management is The Art of War, written by Sanju. Today, all the business people, they follow the book called The Art of War, written by Sanju, S-U-N-T-Z-U. So, this is the best textbook for strategy. Okay. So, strategy is a word related to war. And what is strategy actually in military means? Means ways to win over the enemy. How you have to win over your enemy. If you make plans, then that is called as strategy. So, strategy is related to the plans you make to win over your enemy in the war. And in business context, the term is not much different. Businesses have to respond to dynamic and hostile external forces in the pursuit of their mission and vision. See, there is no much difference between business and war. There you have an enemy, here you have a competitor. So, all the time you need to think about the ways of winning the competition, the ways of winning over your competitor. And you know, in war also there are hostile external forces. Here also in business we have hostile external forces. Means, hostile means the meaning, you know, unfriendly. So, unfriendly external forces. You know, the external environment like socio-cultural, technological, political, economic, legal, these are all very unfriendly factors to a businessman. So a businessman has to go through all this hostile environment, and he has to achieve his vision and mission. See, a businessman will have a vision and mission, and he want to achieve that vision. Means vision is his dream, his aspiration, what he wanted it to achieve. It is there in the vision statement, and the business should achieve that vision. And in achieving that vision, many problems will come. He has to face lot of unfriendly external forces. Now, businessman has to make a strategy in order to tackle with all these external forces and reach his dream and reach his vision. That is what is strategy simply. Now, meaning of strategy. Strategy is a long range blueprint of an organization's desired image, direction and destination, what it wants to be, what it wants to do and where it wants to go. See, before constructing a building, we will have a blueprint of the building. Okay, that means without constructing the building on paper, we make a blueprint, a plan. Likewise, a strategy is also a blueprint which tells you in what direction you have to go, where you want to reach, how you can reach there. For all these things, we need to make a plan. We need to make a blueprint. And basing on that blueprint, we take decisions and we move forward. So that is what is strategy. And strategy is the unified, comprehensive and integrated plan designed to assure that the basic objectives of the enterprise are achieved. This is the definition given by William F. Gluck. See, strategy is the unified, comprehensive and integrated plan. That means strategy is not a simple plan, it is unified. That means already we have seen here, strategy is a comprehensive, unified. That means you have to unify all the things while making a strategy. That means, for example, if you are making strategy about your business, then you have to think about the socio-cultural factors, the economic factors, okay, and various other micro factors. These all things you have to consider and you have to make a plan. So that is called as unified. You have to unify all the things, because these all factors, both micro and macro factors, will affect your business. So that's why you have to unify all of them and you have to make a decision in a comprehensive manner. That means by considering all of those things. So a strategy is a unified, comprehensive and integrated plan. That means what? A business will have a financial plan, a marketing plan, a human resource plan, a production plan, an operational plan. Likewise, a business will have lot of plans. But all these plans should be included in the strategy. That means your strategy should have everything. That is the reason in this subject we will learn about every topic. We will learn about financial management, marketing management, human resource management, production management, operations management. In the functional level strategies lesson, we will study all of those things. Why? Because strategy is not a single and simple plan. It is an integrated plan. It consists of everything. So that is why strategy making is not easy. Strategy making has to be done carefully, consciously, cautiously, meticulously. You have to make the strategy. You have to include everything in the strategy. It is an integrated plan. Okay? And why? Why you are making a strategy? It is designed to assure that the basic objectives of the enterprise are achieved. What do you mean by the basic objectives of the enterprise? You know, every business organization is having certain basic objectives. What are they? Survival, stability, okay, growth. Likewise, there are many basic objectives. So, in order to achieve these objectives, you need to have a plan. And how that plan should be? It should not be a simple plan. With simple plan, you cannot achieve these objectives. You need to have an integrated, comprehensive and unified plan, and that plan is called as strategy. That is the definition given by William F. Gluck. Now, we can define strategy in another manner also. Strategy is the game plan used by the management to achieve the desired market position, conduct operations, attract and satisfy customers, compete successfully and achieve organizational objectives. See, a businessman has to do all these things. What he has to do all these things? He wants to grab the market. He wants to be number one in the market. And he wants to conduct his business operations in a smoother manner. Okay. And he wants to attract and satisfy the customers. And he wants to compete successfully with the competitors. And he wants to achieve the objectives. That means many things to do. So how can a business owner can do all these things? Then if a business owner wants to do all these things, he needs to have a game plan. He has to play the game. In order to play the game, he has to make a plan, a game plan. And that game plan is strategy. So if a business owner is having a strategy, he can easily play the game. Because what is strategy? It is a policy. It consists of everything. It is an integrated plan. That strategy is drawn very carefully. So it consists of everything. What to do with the competitors, what to do with the customers, what to do with the production, what to do with the marketing. Everything the strategy consists of. Okay. Now, yes, this is the point I have already told you. Strategy is a consciously chosen and flexibly designed scheme of corporate intent. That means every business corporation will have an intent. Intent means intention. What is their intention? We all know. What is the intention of the business? The intention of the businessman is to grab the market, to attract the customer, to win the competition. And for that, you need to make a strategy. How? You need to make a strategy in a consciously, cautiously and flexibly designed. What do you mean by flexibly designed? See, you made a plan and you are following that plan. And all of a sudden there is this pandemic outbreak. There is COVID-19 outbreak. So now you have to change your strategy. You have to change your plan. You cannot simply say, whatever may come in my way, I will never change my strategy. No, you cannot say like that. Your strategy should be designed in a flexible manner. That is, your strategy should be changed according to the situations. So a strategy should not be rigid, but a strategy should be flexible. Okay. So that is the most important point. And to achieve effectiveness, why you want a strategy? To achieve effectiveness. That means you have to do things on time. See, to get success even in your examination, you have to do things on time. The timing is very, very important. Even for a comedian or for a student or for a businessman, the timing is very, very important. So that is what is to achieve effectiveness. To know what to do when, you need to have a strategy, and to mobilize the resources. Means a business has lot of resources, financial, human, marketing, lot of resources. So you have to use those resources. You have to mobilize those resources in a perfect manner. For that you require a strategy, and to direct and human effort and behavior. See, we work hard, we work a lot, but there should be a direction. There should be a path. Okay. Our activity should not be like a rolling stone which is not having any direction. It should not be like a paper which changes its direction according to the wind. No, we need to have a direction. We need to have a path, and that direction and that path in where you want to go, that is given by the strategy. So if you work in that manner, if you channelize your energies If you put your energies in that manner, then you will definitely become successful, and strategy is helpful for that. And to handle events and problems. See, we come across a lot of events. A lot of events takes place around us, and we come across a lot of problems in our way. So if you have a strategy, then you can easily come across all those problems. You can easily solve all those problems. Okay. Next, to perceive and utilize opportunities. See, many opportunities come in our way, but your readiness is very, very important. Your readiness to get use of the opportunity, your readiness to grab the opportunity, that is very, very important. So you have to perceive and utilize the opportunities. That is the most important thing, and for that a strategy is useful to you, and to meet the challenges and threats of corporate survival and success. See, today especially in this COVID-19 outbreak, it is very tough for the businesses to handle their growth. So that's why definitely they have to have a very good strategy. They have to spend time. The top level management has to spend some time to make strategies, to face the challenges and threats that come in their way for their success. Okay. So that is what is strategy. And one important thing you please remember, you please never expect that questions are directly asked in the examination like define strategy. No. So the question may be asked like this. The word strategy is often misunderstood in the business arena. Many people think that strategy is simply another term for planning. In this context, define the term strategy. So in this way, a question may be asked. So you should pay attention to the similar questions given in the masterminds material. Okay, that is very, very important. Now the third question. Strategy of a company is partly proactive and partly reactive. Explain. See, already in the second question we learned, that the strategy should be flexible. That means you should be in a position to change your strategy according to the situations. Your strategy should not be rigid. It should be flexible. It should be dynamic. Okay. Now this question tells that the strategy of a company should be partly proactive and partly reactive. See, what do you mean by the word proactive? Okay. See, pro means before. Okay. Pro means before. See, pro has several meanings. Before is one meaning, and favorable is another meaning, go with is another meaning, supporting is another meaning. Okay. So here we will take before, the meaning before. So proactive means before the action. That means we have a word in English called adopt. Okay. So sometimes we need to adopt and sometimes we need to adapt. So what is the difference between this adopt and adapt? See, if you observe, it is ADOPT. OPT is option. AD is go with. So if you go with your own option, and if you take an option and you move forward with that option, then it is called as adoption. And there is another word called adapt. Means sometimes you cannot take your own option. Sometimes there will be no options except to behave what is appropriate, what is fit for that situation. You have to do in that way. So that is called apt, the short form of appropriate. So a businessman sometimes has to adopt and sometimes he has to adapt. Sometimes he has to go with his own option. AD means go with. OPT, option. And sometimes he had to go with what is apt, appropriate, adapt. And that businessman is called as adept. You know, adept is skillful. He is adept in mathematics. He is adept in management. He is adept in accountancy. So adept is skillful. So a businessman will be skillful only when he knows when to adopt and when to adapt. So that is called, this adoption can be called as proactiveness, and this adaptation can be called as reactive. So your business should comprise of both these things. Sometimes you need to be proactive, sometimes you need to be reactive, sometimes you need to adopt the situation. See, adoption means we have to show like this. You should take in, and sometimes you have to adapt to the situation. Means you have to fit yourself according to the situation. Right. A company's strategy is an effective combination of proactive actions of the firm to improve its market position and financial performance, and reactions to face unanticipated developments and fresh market conditions. See, proactive actions means what? You will take some decisions, you will adopt some principles, you will adopt some plans by yourself to tackle the future. That is called proactive. And sometimes there will be some unanticipated developments like this COVID-19. So, you have to face this kind of unanticipated developments and fresh market conditions. So, you see, the market conditions are very dynamic because the tastes and preferences of the customers are fastly changing. So, you will have a fresh market conditions all the time. So, you have to react according to the situation. That is called adaptation. It is not adoption, it is adaptation. Okay. So, that means sometimes you need to be proactive, means plan before your action, and sometimes your plans will not work because of the unanticipated developments. Then what you have to do? You have to follow what is appropriate. You have to do what is required to do. That is called reactive strategy. Okay. And proactive strategy is planned strategy, whereas reactive strategy is adaptive reaction to the changing circumstances. See, I have already told you, proactive strategy is a planned strategy. That means you already planned it beforehand. What to do, how to go, what should be our approach, in what direction we have to move, what we have to achieve. These all things you have planned and you are following your plan. That is called as proactive. But reactive means it is an adaptive reaction to the changing circumstances. And you know, circumstances are fast changing, and sometimes your plans may not work. Your adaptive plans may not work. Then you have to adapt to the situation. That is reactive strategy. In proactive strategy, organizations will analyze all environmental developments and formulate strategies after proper planning and implement these strategies in a predetermined manner. Yes. See, generally, if everything is fine and if we want to achieve something, what we will do? We will analyze all the situations in a rational and analytical manner. We will analyze all the situations and we will make a plan regarding how to move forward. So, that is a proactive strategy. But now here the most important point. However, in reality, no company can forecast both internal and external environment exactly. Everything cannot be planned in advance. And right now, every businessman clearly understood this. What? In reality, no company can forecast both the internal and external environment. You know, internal factors like organization structure, organization culture, human resource relations, these all may change. And also external factors, socio, cultural, technological, political, legal, economic, these are all external factors. So, we cannot predict what happens the next moment. And that is not new to anyone, that is in the experience of everyone, isn't it? So, everything cannot be planned in advance. So, it is not possible to anticipate the moves of rival firms, consumer behavior, evolving technologies, and the natural situations, the pandemics. These all cannot be expected in advance. What strategies our rivals may make, we don't know. Okay, how the consumer behavior changes, we don't know. And it is very fast and dynamic nowadays. For every 6 months, there is a massive change in the consumer tastes and preferences. And that is becoming a big challenge to all the FMCG companies, to all the apparel companies. It is becoming a big challenge because there is a massive change within a short span of time in the market. Okay. So then what you have to do? There can be a significant deviation between what was visualized and what actually happens. That is why we told you that your strategy should be flexibly designed. Why? Because you have to change your strategy. Means you already had a proactive strategy. You are following that proactive strategy, but now a unanticipated situation came. Now you have to change your strategy. Okay. So there can be significant, means a major, massive deviation between what you visualized and what actually happens. You have thought in one way, but the things are happening in another way. Now your strategies may not work. Your proactive strategies may not work. Then what you need to do? You need to be reactive. That means strategies need to be modified in light of possible environmental changes. And reactive strategy is triggered by the changes in the environment. So you have to modify your proactive strategy and make it reactive. Okay? For what? Because you no longer can execute your proactive strategy. Situations changed. Some sudden changes happened. Some new events are taking place in the environment. So you need to have a reactive strategy. That is what you need to understand. And now, see, this question can be asked in this way also. Yummy Foods and Tasty Foods are successfully competing in the business of ready-to-eat snacks in Patna. Yummy has been the pioneer in introducing innovative products. These products will give them good sale. However, Tasty Foods will introduce similar products in reaction to the products introduced by the Yummy Foods, taking away the advantage gained by the former. Discuss the strategic approach of the two companies, which is superior. This is the beauty of strategic management subject. Questions are never asked directly. So you have to pay much attention and concentration towards the similar questions given to you by the Masterminds Institute as at the end of every question. Okay. So you please take the advantage of it. Now, let us move forward to levels of strategy. That means an organization should have or should formulate strategies at different levels. See, generally we represent an organization in a pyramid structure, isn't it? Like this, we represent an organization. So this will be the low level management, and this will be the middle level management, and this is the top level management. See, why you take the pyramid structure, sir? Why don't you take a circle and tell us? No, we can't do that, because this pyramid exactly, it is a replication, it is a replica for the actual situation in an organization. Because generally the low level management will be much wider. We have many people in the low level management. Compared to them, the middle level management are somewhat less in number, and compared to them, the top level management is very narrow. We have very few people in the top level. So this pyramid exactly replicates the actual organization structure. That is why we take the pyramid structure to explain the levels of an organization. An organization is divided into several functions and departments that work together to bring a particular product or service into the market. That you know, an organization has a lot of departments, you know. See, for example, there is an organization called X. So there will be finance department, HR, production, marketing, accounts, operations, logistics, supply chain, like this. See, introducing a product into the market making the product reach into the hands of the customer is not an easy thing. It is a concerted effort, or it is the coordinated effort of all these departments. These all departments should work together to make the dream come true. What is your dream? Putting your product into the hands of the customer. And in order to make it happen, several departments have to work in a coordinated manner. That is what you need to understand. And following are the three levels, main levels of management. In general, every organization is divided into like this. The first one, corporate level management. See, who are the people located at the corporate level management? That is here. It is the CEO and other senior executives, the board of directors, the vice presidents of respective departments. These all people come under top level or corporate level management. And what do? They oversee the development of strategies for the whole organization. They supervise. Oversee is to control, to supervise, to organize. So what is the duty of this top level management? What they do sitting at the top? They oversee everything. They visualize the future. They make strategies. They make policies for the organization. Okay. And their role includes defining the mission, vision and goals of the organization. That means vision is, in third lesson you will have a clear explanation regarding what is vision. But as of now, just let us understand vision means what you ultimately want to become in the future. What is your aspiration? What is your dream? That is vision. And mission means that also you will have explanation in strategic management process, the third lesson. But you just understand now, mission means what should be your behavior. Vision means what you want to become. Mission means how you should behave to become like that. Okay. So this top level management designs all these things. They design the vision, they design the mission, and they decide what businesses to enter, and they also decide from which businesses to come out. That means entry and exit of businesses. Where, in which business to enter and from which business to exit. These are decided by the corporate level management. And they also allocate the resources, means the allocation of funds, human resources, everything will be there in their hands, and formulating and implementing the strategies that span individual businesses. See, a company may have different businesses, no? For example, you take the case of ITC. ITC is having food FMCG businesses, non-FMCG businesses. ITC is into paper, ITC is into hotels, ITC is into agro, ITC is into technology. So these are all the different businesses of ITC. So the top level management at ITC, the Sanjeev Puri, the chairman of ITC. So what he do? He will always think about the management of these divisions, the fund allocations, the resource allocations of all these things will be taken care by the chairman of the company. And now coming to the next level, we have business level managers. That is here, division. See, this is head office and the company is having 3 divisions. Say let us take the case of ITC. Division A is paper, division B is FMCG, division C is agro. So now we have a respective manager for every division. They can be called as divisional managers or business level managers. So what actually they do? The development of strategies for individual businesses is the responsibility of the respective business level managers. See, the ITC chairman Sanjeev Puri, what he do? He always thinks about ITC. He always thinks about ITC. How to build up the brand, how to increase the market share of ITC. He never thinks in pieces. He thinks as a whole. ITC, how to build up the brand of ITC, how to increase the market share of ITC, how to give good returns to the shareholders, what businesses we need to enter, what businesses we need to exit. This is what the top level management, the corporate level management thinks. But these business level managers, what they think, what they do. See, there will be a business level manager for every division. You can see here, for every division there will be a business level manager. And that business level managers have to make plans and strategies for their respective divisions, for their respective businesses. That means for food business, there will be one manager. For paper business, there will be another manager. For agro business, there will be another manager. So these three managers, what they have to do? They have to make strategies for their own divisions. Okay? Right. They are concerned with the strategies that are specific to a particular business. See, because you are the divisional manager, you are the business level manager. So you are given a business. So you have to take care of that business. You have to always think about the strategies to be formulated in that business. That is the most important thing. And their role is to translate the general statement of direction and intent of corporate level management into concrete strategies of individual businesses. See, the corporate management, that means the top level management, will give some basic guidelines to whom? These business level managers. And now what these business level managers has to do? They have to turn those simple guidelines into more specific, detailed, concrete strategies. See, now the Sanjeev Puri, the chairman of ITC, calls the business heads, the business level managers, and he will tell them, Mr. X, the general manager, the business manager of foods division, I am expecting some 20% growth in foods by the next year. Mr. Y, agro general manager or agro business level manager, I am expecting that we need to launch new products in your sector and we have to increase our market share by 10%. So like these targets, in a simple way, the core strategy is given by the chairman of the company. And now these people, what they have to do? They have to make detailed plans how to achieve the 10%. The chairman told that we need to achieve 10%. How we can achieve? What we should do to achieve the 10%? These all things the business level managers has to think and make detailed and concrete strategies for individual businesses. And now the functional level managers, they are responsible for the specific business functions or operations. That means the third level. See, every division or every business will have again some business functions, isn't it? See, ITC is having different businesses, food, hotel, agro, like this. And again in food division, there will be marketing, production, operations. So that is called as functional level. So how this functional level operates? They are responsible for the specific business functions. Means again there will be a functional manager for everything. See how we should visualize this? You should visualize this like this. You take case of ITC, they have food, they have agro, okay, they have hotels, and now again in food there will be marketing, there will be HR, and there will be finance. Like this in agro also you will have marketing, HR and finance. Likewise in hotels, isn't it? So these people, they are called as functional level managers. So what they do? They are responsible for the specific business functions or operations. That means specific business functions means what? The marketing manager of foods division of ITC. Do you understand? The marketing manager of foods division of ITC. ITC is a corporate, foods division is a business, and marketing is a function. So what he has to do? He has to always think about the marketing strategy of the foods division of ITC. Okay? Right. So that is the thing. So we need not discuss question number 5. Already we discussed here about the corporate level management. The same thing are given here, but we need to discuss this 4th point. What they do actually? They provide a link between the people who oversee the strategic development of a firm and those who own it. See, this corporate level management, they act as an important link between the company and the shareholders. No? So it all depends on the decisions of this top level management, how the company runs and what benefits the shareholders gets. And it is a responsibility to ensure that the corporate and business strategies that the company pursues are in consistent with the maximizing the shareholder wealth. See, the maximizing the shareholder wealth is the most important thing, isn't it? And the top level management, the corporate level management should always work towards that. And business level managers, everything we learnt, so we need not learn it here. And the activities performed by the functional level managers, already we learned the first point in the above question, and the second point also we learnt the third one. They provide the most of the information that makes it possible for business level and corporate level general managers to formulate the realistic and achievable strategies because they are closer to the customer. See, the business level managers and corporate level managers, if they are intelligent, they have to take the feedback from the functional level managers in making their strategies. Why? Because it is the functional level managers who are in direct contact with the people, with the customers. So they can give you good feedback regarding what people are thinking about our products, what people are thinking about our company. You will get a ground report, you will get a field report, because these functional managers, they work in the field, they work at the ground level. Okay. So the corporate and business level managers should listen closely to what these people are saying. You take their feedback, you consider their feedback, and then if you formulate business level and corporate level strategies, then it is damn sure that your business strategies will become successful. That is the most important thing. And it is the functional level managers who will implement the strategies. Okay, they are also sometimes called as operational level people. So see, the corporate level people, they formulate the strategy, and the business level people, they also formulate the strategy. But who will implement the strategy? It is the low level, it is the functional level people who implements the strategy in the business field. And right here we have another question: what is strategic management and what are its objectives? So already we understood the meaning of the word strategy. In a highly competitive marketplace, companies can operate successfully by creating and delivering superior value to target customers and also learning how to adapt to a continuously changing business environment. Yes, today there is overriding competition. See, once upon a time there used to be a overtaking competition like this, but today we have overriding competition. So it is very hard to survive in this overriding competition. So definitely every company should have a strategy, and you can survive in the market only when you provide superior value to the customers. That means the company should work always on value proposition. What customer is expecting from you, you have to give him. You have to give value to the customer money. That is very, very important. And also you should learn how to adapt to the changing situation. So these things are all possible only once you have a policy or a business strategy. That means you have to sit, you have to think, you have to gather a lot of information, you have to analyze many factors, and you have to make a policy, and you should follow that. Then only you can handle business in the modern world. So to meet the changing conditions in their industries, companies need to be far-sighted and visionary and must have a system of managing strategically. Yeah, strategic management refers to the managerial process of forming a strategic vision and mission, setting objectives, crafting a strategy, implementing and evaluating the strategy, and making necessary and corrective adjustments which are deemed appropriate over a period of time. So these are all very, very important. See, what do you mean by strategic management, or what do you mean by managing your organization strategically? So we are telling we need to have a strategy, you need to manage your organization strategically. But sir, what actually you mean by that? What actually is meant by strategic management? What should we do to manage our organization strategically? If that is your question, then here is the answer. What is that? If you want to run your company in a strategic style, First, what you have to do is you need to have a vision and mission, and you need to set the objectives, and you need to craft a strategy, and you need to implement that strategy, and you have to evaluate continuously whether your strategy is working properly or not, and you have to make necessary and corrective adjustments which are deemed appropriate over a period of time. So if you follow these 5 steps in managing your organization, then you can manage your organization in a strategic manner. And what are the objectives? Sir, if we manage our organization by following this 5-step process, what do we get? What we can achieve? Yes, here is the answer. To create a competitive advantage so that the company can gain advantage over competitors and dominate the market. That means if you follow those 5 steps and run your organization in a strategic manner, you can get competitive advantage. See, that is the most important word in strategic management, competitive advantage. And you have the definition of that competitive advantage in lesson 2. See, competitive advantage means, you observe this picture here. You have to win over your competitors. You need to be one step ahead of your competitors. And when you can do that? Once you have a strategy and to guide the company through all changes in the environment. Environment is very dynamic, and if you want to go through all the dynamic changes in the environment, definitely you need to have a strategy. Okay, so we will stop there. Thank you.